Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us here at Earth and Sky. Those of you joining us online, we always appreciate your feedback. And when you subscribe to our YouTube channel, thank you so much. We are going to talk today about the 5 Reiki precepts and how to bring that into your life. In a lot of the Reiki classes I teach, we always cover what those 5 precepts are and how you can make them yours, depending on what is going on in your life and what would work best for you. So just to list off very quickly what the 5 Reiki precepts are is: just for today, I will not worry. Just for today, I will not be angry. Just for today, I will be grateful. Just for today, I will live with integrity. And just for today, I will be kind to every living thing. They sound like simple things, but it's not always as simple as it sounds to implement each of those and to implement them on a regular basis every moment of every day. The reason that we say just for today at the beginning of that is because sometimes it's hard to commit to, for the rest of my life, I will never be angry. That's kind of a tall order to say. But when you think of it in terms of just for today, or sometimes just for this moment, you may be reminding yourself of some of these. It's a really good way to start to train yourself on how to do better, how to be happier, and how to have a successful life by implementing each of these. It is said sometimes that it's good to do each of these before you do any type of a healing session, to recite these. Usui Sensei, who is one of the founders of our current system of Reiki, had said if you say these 5 things every morning and every evening, not just with your words, but with your heart and your mind, then it is the secret to inviting happiness. And you will find that sense of enlightenment. You will find that sense of peace that stays with you through every moment. So I thought today I'd talk a little bit about how to implement each of those. So it's not just a phrase that you try to implement and try and figure out, but each of them can have one simple tip. I'm sure you can think of several others yourself as well, but on how to implement these. So starting from the beginning, just for today, I will not be angry. Sometimes life throws certain things at us, and we may find different reasons that we feel justified in being angry, or maybe we don't think about it and we just automatically have this temper that pours off of us, and we realize later, oh, maybe that was a little harsh, or maybe I kind of went over the top and I didn't mean to. Or sometimes you might feel like, wow, I completely lost control of myself. I don't even know what happened, but I know people said I was angry. Whatever level that is at for you, however frequent or infrequent that seems to happen for you, the biggest thing to implement is the pause. Whenever anger starts to rise up, if you can train yourself simply to pause, to take a breath, to walk away for a moment before saying anything that comes to mind, because when you come from a calm state of mind and you think about what you want to say with the things that are driving you crazy or have been unexpected or whatever it is that's causing the anger to well up, when you come with a calm mind and you think about it, you're able to then really come from that higher part within you and not regret what you say, not regret what you do afterwards. It may at times feel hard to implement that pause, but when you implement that pause, it will make a huge difference in being able to bring a sense of peace to yourself and to approach it from a more logical standpoint, or a standpoint that helps with being able to be conscientious of what you're choosing, so that it's not just that spur of the moment thing that flies off. It will help you to not regret things that you've said or done by implementing that pause. And then the second one of the Reiki precepts is just for today, I will not worry. This is another one that can sometimes be challenging. Sometimes we have a lot of anxiety, or our natural state of being is anxiety or worrying. Sometimes it's worrying about loved ones and if they're okay, or it might be worrying about if something's going to happen right, or will you do the right thing? Are you going to forget something? There are a million things that our brain can so easily really stress out on and start to worry about. But what we can do instead of worrying is just to implement a moment of peace, just to think for a moment about what can I do? What would happen if I don't worry about this right now? Asking yourself when that worry comes up, when that anxious thought comes up, if you ask yourself, does my worrying about this actually help the situation? Or is my worrying about this simply adding more stress and possibly making me not able to think clearly when I might need to have that clarity come in? Usually, our thoughts and our spinning out and wondering, worrying about things, all that does is make a storm within our own minds, and it doesn't actually accomplish anything. It doesn't actually help us get to the goals that we want. So recognizing, saying that to yourself. Sometimes I say no to the opponent. If you think of your anxious thoughts, you think of the worry that you have as an opponent energy that tries to interject and get in your mind, and you instead turn to it and you say, no, I'm not worrying about that right now. I'm going to let that go. Guess what? The world is not going to end just because you stop worrying about it. Actually, quite the opposite, because what we focus on, what we think about all the time, that's what we're attracting, that's what we're manifesting. So when we're worrying, we're actually manifesting some of these things that are really what's driving our anxiety. So simply pull it out of yourself. Say no to the opponent, no to the anxiety, one thought at a time. It's not going to be a magic bullet overnight that just clears out all the anxiety, but it is something that you can start to learn to implement one thing at a time. Sometimes you might get a buddy that you ask, and you ask that partner, please let me know when I'm starting to worry. Let me know, because it's hard for us to recognize sometimes those anxious thoughts, especially if it's been a part of who we are for a long time. So asking someone you trust, let me know when you hear me saying these things, and remind me to say no to the opponent and to breathe a breath of peace, because I'm ready to let that worry go, let that anxiety go. And each time you do that, you're building a better habit and increasing the skill within you that just for today I will not worry. And how amazing will it be when you have an entire day and you didn't worry about anything? It's an incredible feeling. So know that that's possible, and it starts one thing at a time. And then the third Reiki Precepts is to live with gratitude. And this is one of the things actually that can help both the worry and the anxiety part, because when we live with gratitude, when we are grateful for every single thing in our lives, it is amazing the way our world starts to shift and turn. We start to find happiness because we see what we have. We're no longer focusing on what we wish we had, or what we think we need, or what we don't quite have yet. We're seeing, what do I have in this moment to be grateful for? There are some traditions that get very specific with that, and they say that the first time you take your breath in the morning when you wake up, that you should feel grateful for that breath that came in, grateful to your soul for waking up, grateful that your eyes can see, grateful that your feet can walk. You can go into all of these things that we rarely ever think of. And then when you think of those parts that are a big part of who we are and what helps us through our day, then it helps you to see how monumentous some of those other things are. Having a vehicle, having someone in your life, having whatever it is that you have to be grateful for. But it helps us to recognize it, because so often we have certain things we bring in, and then it's just an expectation. We expect this should work, and this should be there, and this should always act just like this. But it doesn't always work that way. I think that part of that had been shifted in me when I went through a period of time where my autonomic system stopped regulating itself, and I would forget to breathe, and my heart would forget to beat sometimes, and my kidneys stopped functioning right. And it really brings you into these moments of recognizing how amazing it is when we have a body that actually functions without us having to think about it. There was a period of time that I would listen to a tape that said breathe in, breathe out, because it would help me to remember, because my autonomic system was no longer functioning. Any of these basic things can be taken from us at any time. And when we recognize the gratitude that we have for each of these simple things, that instead of feeling it's as an expectation, it helps us to enjoy everything in our lives. And it really makes life so much sweeter and helps us to really appreciate those bigger things even more. And the fourth Reiki precepts is to live with integrity. And this is kind of a big one. It can be taken in many different ways. One of the ways of living with integrity is always being honest. Not only honest with others, but honest with yourself. What is going on within you? What things are you needing? What things are your qualities? Being honest, having discussions with yourself about what's going on in your life helps you to be able to be honest and have integrity with others. Really putting your all into everything. In the Japanese, where this originates from, this one can sometimes be translated into work diligently or work hard. And it's not just about work that you do that you get paid for. Yes, that's a big part of it, but everything you do. So whatever it is that you're doing, whether you're a line chef or a secretary or you're in your dream job, whatever that may be, working hard, giving it your all is really important. And it's equally important to live with integrity, to work hard in your relationships, your friendships, your romantic relationships. Working hard in every aspect means that you have to be present for your life. And that would be the main tip that I would say for integrating living with integrity, is being in the now, living in this moment. A lot of times when people say, I had heard recently that in an average conversation, there will be 6 lies every, I think, 5 minutes or 15 minutes. Between the two people, within every 3 minutes, there will be 6 lies.
3 lies for 10 minutes.
Okay.
Say that again.
And so within that, people often don't even realize that they're doing it. They just are kind of going and not being in the moment, just saying what is coming to mind. And when you are in the moment, you live with integrity, you're paying attention to every word, allowing your word to be impeccable, recognizing that what you say, it matters. It matters whether you're talking to a cashier who's helping you. It matters if you're talking to a friend, a neighbor, or your romantic partner. Being impeccable with your word is part of living with integrity. And the best way to do that is being present fully in the here and now, in this moment, recognizing that we never know when our next moment will be taken from us and we'll be in a different place experiencing that moment. So really being present here and now will help you to live with integrity. Sometimes certain jobs that we have or things that we have to do in life may feel overwhelming, or they may feel very like it takes too much energy, or you're not sure you want to do it anymore. And living with integrity means honoring whatever those tasks are, whether it's doing the dishes or whatever it is, however big or small, that you are giving it your all. You're being in that moment. And what you'll find when you start living in the now and really being present in each moment, you'll start to find that those tasks that might have felt beneath you, or they might have felt overwhelming, wherever it is on that spectrum, they're no longer so challenging, because your focus is really there. And you start to see how those tasks matter. There's a reason that you're doing it, and you can be grateful when it's done for a job well accomplished, and seeing your result when you're living in the now, instead of regretting what you wish were the case instead, or worrying about something that might go wrong, or if you didn't make the right decision. Being in the now, here and now, will help you live with integrity and find joy in your life through that. And then the fifth Reiki precepts is to be kind to every living thing. And this means being kind to yourself as well. Sometimes I think people will often pay attention to being kind mostly to others and thinking about what will help others and how can they be there for them. And they may forget to take care of themselves, and they forget to make sure their own needs are met as well. And there are other people that are on the opposite side of that sometimes, where people will pay attention to what they need and what they want, and they stop noticing the impact that they have on others, and they don't check in with others. It's really a balance in between all of that. We can learn to be kind to ourselves and kind to every living thing, people, animals, everything. And really through that, we're offering an extension of the love that is at the core of our soul. And really, as you integrate each of those things, learning how to be kind to yourself, how to be kind to others, also that really incorporates being present in the now as well. It's really an amazing path to finding the secret art to inviting happiness into your life. I'd like to close with just mentioning those 5 things again in English and then in Japanese. So just for today, I will live with integrity. Just for today, I will not be angry. Just for today, I will not worry. Just for today, I will be grateful. Just for today, I will be kind to every living thing. If you close your eyes for a moment and just think about the energy of this and integrating each of these into yourself. Kyo dake wa ikai na shinpai tsuna kansha shite gyo hagime hito ni shinsetsu ni kyo dake wa. And just feel that energy flowing into you. You have the ability to integrate every single one of these traits and integrate them all together in this moment today. Hope that gives you some great food for thought for this week, and I hope you all have a fantastic week. Please remember to check out our website, www.earthandskyscenter.com. We will be traveling up to Petoskey soon if you want to check out the events we have coming up there, and we will see you next week. Thank you.